Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. I have the shop manager staring at me from over here. You'll see her in a little while. I was asked questions about how I would tackle the deep scratch through the clear coat, color coat, and primer, and actually dug into the metal on the driver's side door. I want to make this clear. If this was something that I was going to keep and keep really nice, it would be going to the body shop to get sanded down and resprayed. I want to show you a DIY approach and how to improve the area. So let's get to work. The shop manager just got back from hiking. She's worn out and is going to take a nap. We are going to get to work. This is really, really bad. This is down into the metal here, there, down into the color coat there, here, dug into the pinstripe, but I'm going to put a tape line right here, and we'll work on the area from here up to there and see what type of improvement we can do, and I will give you two approaches for this. So what I have laid out, well, I have my PPE on, gloves, whatever you want to do to protect yourself. The more, the merrier. I have the crystal black pearl. That is an exact match for this vehicle, and I had a body shop mix it up. That is a nice thick paint that is not watered down from the crap that you buy, the touch-up paint that you buy at the stores, and will work a lot better to fill in the gouges over there on the door. I have a little droplet dropper. Those you can find in kids, little Tylenol packs at the pharmacy, or just ask where they are at the pharmacy. And any squeegee would do, and then different types of wet sanding sheets and discs. And of course, some masking tape. What I want to do first is get this area down and this trim area up out of the way. So we're going to run a piece of masking tape, protecting the pinstripe. The length of the door from there to there. And then also this strip up here, which is a rubber piece of trim. And we don't need the sandpaper to bump up against any one of those materials. Now we can sort of get started here. First thing we want to do is make sure this area has no polish oils, no protection, no wax. So I'm going to use an oil and polish and a wax remover. Spray it on there heavily. I'm going to let it soak a little bit, break down whatever could be on there. And then I'll come in, wipe it off with a clean towel, and maybe even do it again. I want to make sure nothing is going to be rejected that I lay in there. Let it soak a little bit. And wipe it clean. Okay, that should do. To get a deeper clean, let's just say there's a little bit of wax in here that you noticed. Or how about there's a little bit of rust forming? If you have any touch-up pens laying around at all, this is a ceramic tip that you could use to get in there and scrub and clean up the inside of those scratches. And it works really, really well. Let's get in there. And now I'm going to go over the area and clean it one more time. Cleanliness, ladies and gentlemen, what's the saying? Well, it's important here. Okay. Next step coming right up. Okay, I have my pipette, drew some of the paint up into it. I have my squeegee. I'm going to tilt it up, squeeze it if I have to get a drop right above the affected area. Then I'm going to use the squeegee to pull down and fill in, just like that. You can do that right here as well. Just like that. Or there's another option. We have no choice but to fill up some of these areas and try and make them flush, if you know what I mean. So we can also grab some glazing and spot putty and smear it in there and fill. It's going to take some time for that area there to fill with just regular paint, because you could build it up all you want. But as it cures and dries out, sometimes it goes level, sometimes it even still leaves a bit of a gully or a valley. This helps to fill those in just a little bit quicker. And what I would do, trying to keep chemicals away from the skin as much as possible. Normally I would just take a finger, but I'm going to stretch a glove over it, pull some of the glazing putty, and come down over the scratch just like so, and fill it. And then I'll drag it sideways, and smooth it out even more. You can do that here as well if you want to. Let that dry and let it cure. These are really deep, so I'm going to have to do some up here as well on these spots. And we'll just let that dry. You can see it turned into a light pink now. We're going to grab 800. Normally, when you're doing regular body work, 400, 600 at the highest would be used to level this off. But I don't want to shave the surrounding areas with that aggressive of sandpaper, so it'll take a little bit of time and patience. We're going to use 800 to level this off. And I'm just going to take my time. As you can see, I'm stopping to feel the area. And what you want to do is kind of close your eyes or look away and use your sense of feel. Take the gloves off if you have to, because if you feel anything but a flat surface, you're going to see it when it's finished. That's the rule of thumb. And now I'm going to go across the scratch. And I'm going to do it until I do not feel anything. I feel a little bit right here and right there. That feels nice and smooth. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, now we're going to move on to this area up here and do the exact same thing. This gets caked up quickly, so just keep moving around to clean spots on your sandpaper. If it gets caked up like this, the paper is going to be, well, it's not going to be effective at all. So keep moving it around. Now, when I see that, I know it's time to start feel the areas there. Okay, that's good. I want to go till I'm down to the chip marks. And that's, there we go, we have that. That's accomplished. Now we have to come down here, do the same thing there. This one I really made thick because of how deep that scratch is. I should have thinned it out a little bit with my finger. Take a little bit of work to get that off, but you just have to be patient. Pretty much used up everything on that side. That's why I have it folded so many times. All right, we're getting there. Getting there. I'm just folding this up to kind of pinpoint my sand areas a little bit. Again, I don't want to take the surrounding areas down because we're going to have to step down to 1,000 grit or 1,500 grit. This mess here. All right, that feels wonderful. And I'll use a chemical to get that chunk off of there. So let me clean up now. Okay, the hard work, for the most part, has been done with the 800 grit and the filler. Now we want to work this area here wider and wider as we blend things in and refine these sand marks. So that's 1,000 grit, and that's what we're going to step down to. Fold that one more time. And we're going to work this area. You can see the clear coat running down the side of the car already. And remember, Honda, soft, clear, soft and thin. So now we want to go to 1,200 grit and work the area even larger. We'll do 1,500 grit and we'll stop there because we'll need to fill this in with color. And then we'll sand that with 2000 and 3000 grit and polish out. Okay, so we're going to go out a little bit further. Flush. Okay, let's clean up, fill in with color, let it dry a little bit, and we'll finish up the job. I only poured just enough of the color down into the cup there. I'm not going to need a whole lot. And we'll just dab it in there where it's needed. All right, we're dabbing, we're not painting, we're not using brush strokes. Dab it on there, let it soak in, let it dry. Trying to do my dab technique all the way down through here. Almost like you're tattooing. Sorry if I'm getting in the way. I kind of like to get in there and see what I'm doing. Little spot right there. This is pretty deep right here. We got to fill this in. Very light right there. Okay, now we just let it dry. With touch-up paint, well, sometimes that can even be overnight, so you have to be patient. All right, the important part with this step is leaving this cure and dry as long as possible. And it will let you know if you didn't let it cure long enough, because it will pull right back up out of that valley. We're going to give it a shot. We're jumping now to 2000 grit, and we're going to come about out to here with 2000 grit. We're almost done. Again, we are refining. We are refining scratches that we made during the initial sanding that we did, and we have to get rid of them. I already pulled a little bit out here and here, so I'm just going to have to retouch them up before we polish. Everything else is holding fine. That's what happens. And I want to make this clear. It's a lot easier to see if you left a valley in the paint than if you left a little bit of a hill or a mound on the paint. If you leave a valley in the paint, the sun refracts off of that and really shows. If there's a little bit of a mound or an upheaval of some paint or just a little bit too much, a little bit less visible. All right, finally, 3000 grit. And we'll go a little bit beyond the last step. And refine these scratches even more. I have a little bit of a surfactant, a drop of a surfactant on the pad to get a little bit lubrication, a little bit more lubrication. I do not want this to be an aggressive step. We are going to just polish it out from here. All right. Flush it. We're going to dry it. We're going to polish it. Seems like it would have been much easier just to take it to the body shop, right? Sand it off, sand it down to the paint or the metal, repaint it, get it over with. But that's not an option for some of us, for most of us, for many reasons. So I'm just showing you another way to go about it, make it look better. Of course, with something like this, we're only looking for improvements to a certain extent. Let's let this dry, and I'll go find the polisher pads a while. Okay, we're going to use the hockey puck. That's darn close when it comes to diameter of the pad and the area we're going to polish. And we're going to use the F601, which is a fine cut. It's not going to take a whole lot to polish these sand marks out. Shake up the formula. The orange hockey puck pad here is like middle of the line. Not harsh, not soft. Give myself enough cord. Spread out the polish. Now let's fire it up between the 3rd and the 4th speed setting. So I used to see this blemish from at least 8 feet away. We're now at 6 feet away. The whole vehicle looks much, much better than when it came in. And this is even closer at 4 feet. And you're going to start to see that real deep gash that, you know, you could spend some more time filling it in if you want to. It's completely up to you. But even at about 2 feet away, that's really about all you see. And again, you can spend some more time if you want. I'm not going to spend any more time on this, but there you go. There's some results outside in natural daylight. All right, good friends, that's going to do it for this video. The Honda Pilot really coming along. It's almost ready. I'm just going to throw a fresh inspection sticker on there, get it inspected, make sure it's completely safe, and it'll be ready to go. Again, if anybody's interested in any of the cars on the channel, just reach out. My contact information is easy to find. This has been Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning, and I'll catch you in the next video. Shop manager, she is ready to go home.